actually focusing on the sensor and also designing the circuit. However, my expertise is more on the fabrication of the sensor. So for my postdoc, I currently doing the research on nitrate sensor based on EGFAC. So before I go through on my research activity, I would like to only slightly on the how the nitrate is produced and it benefit for us. Actually, this nitrate is produced by nitrogen circle, and we know that our atmosphere is contained by a few compounds where where nitrogen is about 78%. So actually, we cannot take the nitrate or nitrate directly for the atmosphere, so it needs to change for the nitrogen to other usable form. So the nitrogen cycle actually the process to change the inert nitrogen to the more usable forms such as ammonia, nitrates, and also nitrate. So in the nitrogen sector, it's contain a few process, including nitrogen fixation, nitrification, assimilation, ammonification, also denitrification. For the nitrogen fixation, it's actually the main part in the nitrogen cycle, where in this process, the inert nitrogen will convert to another usable form, such as ammonia, nitrate, and also nitrate. So at this stage, the inert nitrogen, which still have triple bonding, will break to another compound. To convert to another compound is need to through the three different ways, which is atmospheric fixation, industry, and also biological. For the atmospheric, the inert nitrogen will be helped by the high energy of lightning and also ultraviolet radiation with presence of oxygen and convert to nitrogen oxide. With the presence of rainwater, the nitrogen oxide will change to nitrate. But for the industry, the ammonia is formed when the inert nitrogen combined with the hydrogen throughout the forest fire, industry smoke, and also vehicle exhaust. And the last one is biological. Sorry. Okay, the last one is the biological. Actually, this biological is the nitrate is produced by the head of the bacteria, like rhizobium and also blue-green algae. So the next process is the nitrification process, which is ammonia is converted into nitrate. In this nitrification process, there are two different bacteria for the converting the ammonia to nitrate. Then the produced nitrate will be converted to nitrate. First is nitrosomas bacteria, where its function to convert the ammonia to the nitrates, and then nitrobacter convert the nitrates to the nitrates. The nitrogen cycle also involves the assimilation, where HT is the basic process for the absorption of mineral from the roots of the plants. They also ammonification process and solidification process in the nitrogen cycle, where its ammonification is just animals waste and also any organic change to the ammonia, and while the nitrification is the process reverse the nitrogen fixation, where the nitrate produced will be released back to the atmosphere as a gas. So this nitrogen cycle actually has several benefits, such as convert the inert nitrogen to the more usable form for the plant use, and also clean up the environment. And this nitrate and nitrate also used to enhancing the soil with the necessary nutrition required for cultivation. The plants use the nitrate for the synthesis of chlorophyll. So this nitrate is actually important for the plant's growth. So, however, this nitrogen sulfate actually is not enough to increase the crop yield. So, most of farmers we prefer to use the fertilizer. So, the excess fertilizer used will affect our environment and also plants growth. So, we need to monitoring the extent of the nitrate. Actually, currently the soil in agriculture, the soil health is measured by sending the sample to dedicated laboratories, which is cost time consuming and also high cost. So in our lab, we are focusing to fabricating the portable sensing electrode that can be used as a nitrate sensor. So the last one is the deposition of polymer in top of the metal oxide. So the pictures show the end product of my sensing electrode, where it contains of metal oxide and polymer on top there. We use the ITO substrate in order to transmit the electron and the signal, and copper wire is connected to the MOSFET for the heating purpose. Okay, so this is just only basic flow process for the fabrication process of the on-site layer, where we need to prepare the solution and then go through on the stirring process and aging for 24 hours before we can use that solution for deposition process using the sprinkler. Then at the last, the fabricate sample we go through on the drying and also energy process. Okay, so this is the surface morphology of the Z oxide layer that we observe from the epicenter. Actually, this epicenter equipment is it's not quite a very hot stuff in here because we need to chew before 7:30 to have that slot. Okay, so from that we can see that the surface morphology for the Z oxide is quite uniform on top of the ITO. So then the second is the fabrication of the Z oxide nanorock. Is like the Z oxide thin layer preparation, but the difference is the prepared solution will be undergo sonication process at 30 minutes for 30 minutes at 50 degrees. Then we put the solution with the ITO substrate into the water bath for 1 hour. Then follow up by basic drying and energy process. So for the Z oxide nanorods, you can see that from the cross section in figure B, the nanorod was formed on the top of the ITO. Okay, for the nitrate sensor, actually, the researchers have found the struggling on to produce the stable sample. So, for example, Lezen et al. Was trying to introduce the gold nanoparticles on top of the sample to see the effect of the hydrophobic material to the stability of sample. In order to see the stability, they test for the water layer test, and they found that the gold particles help to improve the stability of the sample compared to the sample without the gold particles. But for our case, we are trying to vary the polymer material to see the effect of the polymer to the stability of nitrate sensor. So it is the basic process of polymer preparation. Then the last one, we only just use the hot plate to dry because the polymer cannot resist to the high temperature. So this is the EGFAT that we are working. We prefer to use the EGFAT set since it's more flexible, portable, and also insensitive to the light and temperature. So by the connection, the deposited sample will be connected to the gate terminal of MOSFET, then connect to KISAP B15 semiconductor device analyzer. So from this measurement, we can find a lot of results. One of example is sensitivity and lenity. So this is the result based on the deposited oxide. We are varied the concentration of PDP from 2 to 6, and we found that at 4%, the sensitivity of the oxide seed layer shows the highest, with the 53.9 millivolt per decade. And for the oxide nanorocks, 4% also give the highest sensitive value with 59.8 millivolt per pH per decade. From that, we can see that the nanorock gives the better sensitive value compared to the zinc oxide layer. It is because the nanostructure have more surface to volume ratio that facilitate more surface to ion detection. So this is why we use the log 10 for the plotting graph, because when we convert the log 10, the graph is become more clear and fit to linear. So this table show my works on the fabrication of sensing electrode for the ICM, where we can see that I have almost 50 different type of sensing electrode that I vary the material and also polymer type. Okay, so this is just what I doing within 7 months as postdoc. According to the what RNC was set up. So one of the requirement is to conduct a research on project that has been identified. So for my case, I was assist the integrated ICF grant with the sample preparation and measurement, documentation, also procurement. So this is the activity I'm doing for the ICF, where the picture one shows the how to fabricate and also categorize the sample. And while picture 2 is the activity we done with our group research to see the nitrate in the sample based on pH and nitrate. And we take the sample from global community section 8. As a postdoc, we also required to publish at least 6 papers with our supervisor as a first author and or second author. So in this 7th month, I just published 1 paper and 2 another is accepted, 1 is under review. So the rest is under progress, still under progress. For the esteemed postgraduate student, the RNC required to accept at least 2 master or 2 PhD students. And for me, I have accepted 4 students. 2 is master and another 2 is PhD. I assist them on research progress in nitrate and also pH sensor, SC in publication, and also research material procurement. For the copyright, I just working on it. We apply for nitrate sensing electrode design for MOSFET transducer. It's one of the collaboration with the international collaboration, since we are based in the PKP. So our discussion is based on online. Our collaboration is from Italy, which is Dotenico. She already sent her sample for us to categorize. So we try to use that sample for apply image effect for nitrate sensor. This is a requirement by RNC. We need to have 2 sharing sessions, and this is my first sharing session. And next, inshallah, I will share on the training data using Origin software, but not decided yet. So for the others, I also involved in the drug application, and alhamdulillah, one of that just announced this week. My supervisor has secured the PRGS, and then stay 2 drugs stay in the waiting for the result. I have participated 2 different innovation, where one is silver award and the other one is gold. The last one is the conference. This we have on early of the July. I think that's all my research activity. Thank you for the attention.
Thank you, Dr. Amy. Seems that Dr. Wan has given me as a utilized Amy. Fully utilized.
That's accusing me of abuse.
Utilized, fully utilized Amy.
Yeah.
You explore her potential, true potential. Okay.
The next one.
Okay, we'll go to the next one. After that, we will we'll have a Q&A session. I think we have a lot of questions to ask. Okay, let's go to the next one. Dr. Anis Azmi, which under supervision of Prof. Dr. Zaki. Very busy.
First of all, I would like to share session. I was as a postdoc staff School of Civil and Supervision of Albert Ahmad. So today I would like to share my previous project that I've involved, which is the development of radio for persistent properties of selected nation tropical house. So my research area is engineering, especially in structural engineering. Okay, so timber is one of the older construction material in the world since it has been used since ancient times. Okay, so this is the example of the timber building in the world. Okay, the first one is community camping, which is still standing until now for 1,300 years. And we also have ceremonial tables in the recent life. So tables, this tables was built without windows or school, okay, and have 99 meters to 4 meters. For 4 meters, they are 76 feet long, and then And the third one is the Yinshan wooden pagoda in Changxi, China. Okay, so this is one of old timber building which is still standing until now for more than 900 years. Okay, so for this pagoda is also constructed without any house or school. So in contrary to modern beliefs, I think all of you also have misconception about timber. Or people always say that timber is not durable and not versatile. But this is the proof that where timber still can stand until now, even for more than 1,000 years. Okay, so this is the modern timber building around the world. So the first one, this is the 5 tallest timber building around the world. Okay, the first one is in Norway, which is 85-meter high with 80-story building. So this is the current tallest timber building around the world. Okay. And then the second one is a Tollwood resident Vancouver. So this is the student residence in University of British Columbia. Okay, so this timber building is 53-meter high. And then the third one is in the Norway, which is a 49-meter high. This is the apartment. Okay, and then the fourth one is the Dalston Link that built in the London, UK, which is a 33-meter building with 10 story. And the fifth one is the Forte in Melbourne, Australia. Okay, even we are one of the major producer for timber, but we hardly see that we have in Malaysia, we hardly see that we have timber building. So I hope we can in the future we can see that the timber building is built in Malaysia. So as a researcher, one of my contribution that I can contribute is in the development of the mechanical strength data, okay, for the engineers to use in design of timber building. Okay, so what is the current situation of timber design in Malaysia? So currently, for timber structural design, the current code that we use is Malaysian standard, okay, which is the MS 544.2. But this current standard we use based on the permissible stretch design. Okay, what is the drawback with the current standard? Because this standard, the strength data, mainly for bending, compression, and tensile, the strength data is obtained from small clear specimen. When we talk about small clear specimen, the specimen is free from defect. Okay, so when it's free from defect, it do not give true mechanical value of structural size timber. Because the structural size timber will have effect on the sawn timber, such as knots, slope of grain, jet, and split. Okay, this is the strength reducing characteristic. Okay, so this is the data, the strength data from the MS 544.2 and also MS 544.3. For MS 544.2, this one is obtained from the small clear specimen and in the form of grade stresses. This one is grouped in the strand group, which is the strand group is grouped together for same grade stresses and density. Okay, and when we have the structural application for especially for glue-laminated timber arise, so the standard committee, Malaysian Standard Committee, provide one more standard, which is MS 544.3. Okay, this one is from the structural size. Okay, the strand data is from structural size, but it's only limited to 9 species only. So for five species, it is based on the conversion from small clear specimen to structural size specimen. Okay, the 5 species is the Balau, Papu, Tumpas, Peruin, and also Barbau. And then the other 4 is the structures, the data they obtained from the structure size, but conducted by Frame. Okay, so towards the globalization and development of knowledge, then from the principal stresses design, most of European countries and United Kingdom already moved to the limit state design. Okay, because the limit state design provide more economical and safer design. Okay, then this data for limit state design, the strength data need to be derived from the structural size, and the data is in the form of characteristic value, so not in the grade stresses anymore. Okay, so that's why this research is conducted, because we have to develop new strength data from structure size for Malaysian timber, and also the development of strength classes. Okay, so this is the table where I extracted from the EM 338. Okay, this is the strength data in the form of characteristic value that we will use when we designing the timber structure according to Eurocode 5. Okay, so this is the differences between MS 544 Part 2, BS 5268, and also Eurocode 5. Okay, so what is the major differences between these three standards? The MS 544 Part 2 and also BS 5268 is based on permissible stress design. Okay, and this Eurocode 5 is based on the limit state design. Okay, for MS 544 Part 2, the strength data is based on a small clear specimen, okay, and in form of the grade stresses. And for BS 5268, the strength data is based on the structure size specimen, but it only covers for European softwood and hardwood timber and some selected Asian hardwood timber. Okay, and it's also in form of grade stresses. But in Eurocode 5, the Eurocode 5 is based on the limit state design, and the strength data is from structure size specimen, but only for European softwood and hardwood timber and some selected Asian hardwood timber. So this strength data in Eurocode 5 is in the form of characteristic value. Okay, so for the past research, for my research, this is a new study where no one has conducted to develop the characteristic value for Malaysian timber, because before this, the past research only study until the mean strength, because according to the European standard, if we want to derive the characteristic value, the sample need to be from different regions and also have different sizes and have a lot of number of specimens. But for the past research, it's only there's no different region and also no different sizes and also different size sample. Okay, so why we need to do this research? Okay, so as I mentioned here, the current standard, which is MS 144 Part 2, provide only structure design based on permissible stress design. Okay, then the data provided are in grade stresses based on small clear specimen. Okay, so the potential solution is we develop new set comprehensive strength data based on the structure size specimen. Okay, so another one, now share the structure timber design still based on permissible, then we need to move to the limit state design according to the Eurocode 5. So in this Eurocode 5, we are not using grade stresses anymore and require in the data in the form of characteristic value. So this study will develop comprehensive strength data in the form of characteristic value based on structure size timber. So the main objective of this study, okay, is to find the characteristic value of compressive strength and also the stiffness value combination tropical timber in accordance with the European standard. With the specific objective, which is we want to find the compressive strength properties parallel and perpendicular to the plane for selected nation tropical timber based on the structural size. And after that, we will further analyze the compressive strength properties to the characteristic value of compressive strength based on the structural size specimen. So for the scope of research for this research, I work with nine species of Malaysian timber. Okay, that collected from 4 different growth areas in Malaysia. Okay, as you can see, there is 9 species. Okay, there is 9 species. And for each species, we have 200 specimens for parallel and also perpendicular to grade. So I work with the total numbers of specimens with 3,600 specimens. So this is the sampling area. Okay, because according to the European standard, the sampling method need to be scattered around the region. Okay, so I collected my sample from different regions. Okay, the first one is from Kelantan, the second one is from Pahang, the third one is from Johor, and the fourth one is from Sarawak. Okay, so this region is represent the region in Malaysia. Okay. So what is the significance of this research? So the development of this data can enhance the confidence level of timber designer to use Malaysian timber, and also we can promote our timber to be used locally and abroad. Okay. Then it can also increase the exporting of timber by getting CE marking, which require testing of structure size timber. Okay, and for the environmental effect, we know timber that has a low carbon emission and low greenhouse gas. Okay, so for this experimental work, we are closely monitored by one of the standard European Standard Committee, which is Dr. Simon Eichel from University of Stuttgart. Okay, I work close with him in the experimental work and also in the analysis of the data. So for the experimental work, generally we have three phase, which is the first one is the preparation of some timber, the second one is the preparation of structure size specimen, and the third one is the analysis of the data. So as I mentioned earlier, I worked with I tested for compression strength, okay, in two different directions, which is the first one is compression strength parallel to the grain, and the second one is perpendicular to the grain. For parallel to the grain, I have two different sizes. Okay, so for each species, I have 200 specimens, and then for structural size specimen, I have only one dimension, and also 200 specimens for each species. Yes, in total, I have more than 3,000 specimens. Okay, so this is the preparation for structural size specimen. Okay, the test method is according to the new code KEN 408. This is the experimental diagram. Okay, we use the two LVDT to measure the displacement of the sample, okay, in order to calculate for the modulus of elasticity. And this one is a experimental setup for structural size specimen perpendicular to the grain. It's the same with the parallel to the grain. And for the data analysis, using the SPSS and Minitab to analyze the thousands of the result, the result of the testing. Okay, for the analysis, once again we work with Dr. Simon Eichel because we want to make sure that the data is relevant to the code.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the result for the 9 species that are tested. Okay, so for the compression strength, parallel to the grain, compass have the highest compression strength and also the MOE rate. And the lowest one is Kurongga. Okay, so the lowest compression strength also MOE rate. For the perpendicular to the grain, the parallel to the grain, the start shows the highest compression strength and also the MOE. And light red maroon shows the lowest compression strength and also. Okay, So this is the main outcome for this research actually. We want to produce the strength table, okay, according with the part. Okay. Actually, this project is extensive research work because my other friend works testing for the other mechanical properties such as bending, tensile, and torsion. But my focus is only on compression strength. Okay, so after the discussion, after the thorough analysis, we forward this result to the UC of the guide to be analyzed and we evaluate according to their committee. Okay, so this is the final strength class that we provide for that we can produce for a machine. Okay, so this strength class will help in commercialization and promotion of our paper to use locally and abroad. Okay, so this strength class also will help the designer, the engineer, in to design the timber structures. Okay, based on limit state design, our local paper. This is my research activity, my previous research Germany, okay, together with Dr. Chariza and Dr. Pasca. Okay, for my current research project, as all of as the other postdoc have mentioned, I have to work with one research with one of the project. Okay, so my research project currently is the development of charring brick and reaction to fire for solid structure made from selected Asian tropical timber. Okay, so for this project, we have conducted two testing. Which is the first one is the reaction to fire, okay, which is the chrome calorimeter test. We conducted this test in strike kajang, and the other test we conducted in cream tepung. Okay, the test is for fire resistant test. And the other project I work current now is the development of strength class for blue laminated paper from larval temperature species. So this project we work together with the industry player in Sabah. Okay, so we cannot rely on the natural forest timber. So we have to look another source of timber, which is the plantation timber species. Okay, I think that's all for my sharing session. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anis. Nice, full of activities, mainly on relation. Saya pun tak pernah apa je. Okay, I have a few questions, but I would like to open the floor first to others yang, if you have any question to be asked pada our postdoc student ataupun postdoc staff. Any questions? Maybe I can start with Dr. Nafisah first while you are preparing the question. Dr. Nafisah. 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 Saya tunggu lain. Saya tanya. That's okay. Okay.
Oh, battery hoy.
On off. Okay. So Nafisah, what I've seen, your research project involving with site works, a lot of site works, and with, I think with industries and government. What what's the challenge? Or what was the challenge when you involved with these side works? Yeah, because kalau saya lagi panjang jawapan. Because the challenge as a postdoc, because it will be different expectation from maybe for postgraduate students and postdoc. That will be different, I think. Oh, sama je. Okay. Okay. Boleh.
Okay, pada saya sebenarnya challenge tu sama je. Bila kita bekerja dengan industri, okay, apa yang perlu kita tahu adalah kita kena ada timeline dia je lah. So kita memang bekerja untuk dia. So kita bila dengan industri, dia takkan kerja kita. So selalunya ada orang yang akan kejar kita. So apa yang perlu kita buat memang kita ikut je lah schedule dia. So memang kalau ikut cabaran, nanti insyaAllah kami sebenarnya ada satu gerak Petronas kan, 1.2 juta. So akan start lah sebenarnya bulan Juni. So duit tu mungkin akan masuk dalam Juni. So melalui pengalaman orang yang buat, samalah. Dia orang pun cakap memang kita kena kejar dan memang kita bekerja untuk dia. So nak memang kena hujung minggu kita akan spend lah masa untuk buat kerja-kerja research tu.
Dan dia mungkin di luar daripada office hour lah.
Mungkin di luar lah. Tapi sebenarnya bekerja di industri ni menarik sebenarnya. Sangat menarik lah. Sebab kita akan bosan bila dekat
Selalu kena kejar.
selalu kena kejar tu selalu. Meeting lalu mana pun selalu.
Assalamualaikum.
Salah.
Lantikan Dr. Rasha daripada bila?
Okey, daripada tahun 2020. So sebenarnya saya dah habis untuk 2 tahun dah. So saya punya publication sepatutnya kita orang memang kena dalam 6 paper kan, macam tu untuk Scopus. Tapi saya punya publication tu lebih lah, sangat lebih lah dalam 11 macam tu. So tapi Q1, Q2 ada 8 juga. 4 daripada tu memang saya ada dalam Scopus.
What are your plans after
This.
this?
Aduh. Saya tak sure lah juga sebabnya benda tu bergantung pada rezeki dan untuk postdoc ni saya ada lagi dalam 10 bulan lah. Sebab saya baru continue untuk yang extend 1 tahun.
Saya ada satu lagi soalan tadi, saya rasa in general for all kot. Dan soalan ini bukan pada research tetapi kepada tak tahu lah saya tak tahu. What are your experience in getting the benefits out of the postdoc punya appointment in UiTM, contohnya macam medical benefits, proses cuti dan sebagainya. Is that, adakah itu dah prosesnya dah jelas ke tak ke? Atau macam mana?
Okey, sebenarnya sepanjang saya jadi postdoc lah kan, pengalaman saya sebenarnya orang tak tahu pun saya ni staff sebenarnya. So memang cuti memang saya tak pernah apply apa-apa. Cuma ni kalau cari cuti, biasanya kita akan minta je dengan supervisor kita. So saya nak cuti, macam tu je rasa tak ada yang official record. Untuk yang medical punya, selalunya dia cakap kalau kita boleh guna UiTM kan untuk ni, tapi setakat ni saya tak guna lah untuk sebab saya
Ada nombor kerja tak?
ada nombor kerja ada, tapi sebenarnya untuk sistem ni saya pun tak tahu macam mana. Sebab bila kita buat load kan, saya pernah buat load kereta, memang bila bank call, dia orang cakap tak ada staff nama Nafisah dekat UiTM. Itu pengalaman saya lah.
Sebab saya tengok dalam garis panduan lantikan akademia very clearly yang akan ada dokumen daripada UiTM yang cakap lantikan peperiksaan. Betul kan? So pasca kedoktoran adalah 17 dan dekat dalam tu ada rawatan hospital, adalah klinik UiTM, tapi macam panel UiTM dan hospital kerajaan dan berangkat ditanggung oleh EJ. So memang very clearly dituliskan dalam garis panduan tersebut. Saya wonder masih ada banyak question mark apabila nak claim
Dan kan. So sorry lah, saya lebih logistik lagi. Saya rasa untuk medical tu memang agak susah lah. Sebab dia ditangkap. Dia tak tahu nak kirim dengan siapa. Sama juga sama.
Dah try lah.
Saya tak pernah lagi lah sebab saya pernah macam claim postdoc ni dia kata boleh claim untuk travelling kan. Dia saya tanya RMC kata claim dengan PJ. Jadi siapa sebenarnya PJ tu? Sebab last kali saya akan claim dengan undergraduate.
PJ tu bawah kolej, kita boleh claim dengan PSM. Boleh minta pada staff.
Kalau training lah kan, tapi medical benefits lah.
Tapi
Rawatan.
saya rasa dia boleh hantar submit kepada ketua timbalan daftar kita. Ya, amin.
Kalau sepatutnya tak tahu kalau garis panduan tu kan, garis panduan UiTM kan, tentang garis panduan RFC ataupun mungkin benda tu boleh isu yang boleh
Yes, dia sebenarnya di bawah tetadbiran.
sama juga ada attendance kan, macam clock in clock out dan juga yang semua memang secara manual.
Dia bagi berapa hari? Dia
Dia akan stay dalam
5 hari.
cuma nak minta
Tak apa, yang cuti dia tak apa, tak tahu. Sebab cuti banyak kerja. Tak tahap bekerja. Ini ada nak respon. Apa-apa.
Untuk claim rawatan, actually saya pernah test untuk benda tu. Kita ditolak sana sini. So first I go to RMC. Lepas tu memang dah jelas RMC kata dia tak tanggung benda tu, dia just tanggung gaji, and then untuk rawatan adalah PTJ. Tapi bila ke PTJ, mereka pasayang melalui 4 kali. And last is HR. Tapi HR satu ayat dia cakap yang saya fikir logik juga, dia cakap benda tu bukan dia yang janji untuk give the rawatan semua tu lah. Tu adalah RMC, kenapa dia nak tanggung. So dindang-dindang saya bayar sendiri. Buat saya buat. So tak ada untuk macam kalau cuti pun kalau RMC kata 25 hari based on SB. Tapi SB lagi suka kalau kita ada rekod dengan PTJ. So I go through on yang handle clock in clock out. Dia tak nak release cuti tu sebab dia kata tak ada dalam kontrak. So dia kata macam dia tak boleh nak bagi cuti. So benda tu stay dalam, dia kata nanti nak follow up tapi stay tak tahu lagi lah. Tapi saya ada dah cuti tapi based on SB lah, permission SB je lah.
satu ruang penambahbaikan lah.
Betul.
Kan?
Ya. Kalau sistem contohnya last time ni maksudnya few months ago, kita ada backend class untuk discuss on scheme Q, scheme apa Q ni? Pembantu penyelidik. Apa nama? Pegawai penyelidik. Pegawai penyelidik, pembantu penyelidik dan juga scheme postdoc. So discuss dengan semua director of COE, Dean, management plus dengan TNC, PR. So discuss on the keperluan untuk deployment of postdoc ni, keperluan untuk naikkan pangkat untuk pegawai penyelidik scheme Q. Dan saya rasa untuk scheme Q dia ada ketua. Scheme Q dia ada ketua ataupun dia ada macam satu group yang discuss ataupun yang boleh bawa isu-isu yang berkaitan dengan scheme Q, termasuk scheme C, pegawai sains. And I think for postdoc you should have this kind of structure juga. Macamnya walaupun appointment tu the short term kan, setahun, 2 tahun, 3 tahun, tapi you should have that structure so that isu-isu macam ni lah di isu kebajikan yang lain selain
Satu lagi, gaji, bukan gaji apa, kamu kira macam kontrak staff kan, tapi pembayaran tu still macam claim. Kami kena akad attendance, okay, baru dapat gaji terus selepas tu. Jadi macam, saya macam tak faham. Even GRE pun terus macam masuk gaji kan. Sebab kita kan dah ada education kan. Tapi macam kami still kena hantar claim tu. Itu lah macam.
itulah sebabnya recorded kan. This session is recorded, tapi I'm okay with that sebab saya open je lah. I think untuk yang scheme ataupun group postdoc ada structure yang proper, kelas dengan maybe you can have a session with TNCPI. TNCPI proposal she very helpful, looking forward untuk bantu sebab melihatkan postdoc ni adalah satu asset. That's why apa nama setengah fakulti ataupun college dia put apa nama stress untuk appoint this postdoc staff ni sebagai permanent staff at the end of the appointment tu. Saya pun ada bercakap dengan PNC Prosemi on keperluan untuk kita lantik apa nama postdoc staff ni sebagai permanent staff. Dia adalah Prosemi minta saya justify a few things. I'm working on that. Saya ada mention dekat dan nanti saya lihat saya kena buat few other things lah. Plus dengan to justify why we need to apa nama point postdoc staff ni. Okay. Other than that, question. Any question? Any more question? Okay. Saya nak tanya dekat Amy.
Ada lagi.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum. Saya today daripada sebenarnya saya master sekarang buat di sini lah. So nak tahu lah macam kita ada wakil-wakil pada postdoc macam mana transition daripada postgraduate PhD ada PhD and then pergi kepada postdoc. Macam mana proses berlaku? Boleh ceritakan sikit lah. Very good.
Postdoc. Anyone? Tak. Buat dekat ni. Yang
Saya lepas saya habis supervisor saya lah yang push dan suruh apply lah untuk postdoc ni. Dan dia adalah requirement dia. Supervisor pun ada requirement, kita sebagai postdoc sendiri pun ada requirement. So supervisor tu perlu ada grant, kalau untuk SMT perlu ada grant lebih. Kalau tak saya 100 ribu. Dan juga kita sebagai candidate untuk postdoc tu kita kena ada paper. Minimum 3 paper dan satu adalah fokus lah. Requirement yang perlu lah.
Macam
Dia ada IC form lah dan juga ada proposal. Sebab kita kena, sebagai postdoc kita kena ada requirement kan jaga satu projek, masa kita buat postdoc tu. Jadi
macam tu work together dengan supervisor lah.
Supervisor lah akan apply.
Saya nak jawab.
Yes. Supervisor, kita dengar supervisor.
Saya sebagai supervisor postdoc. Dr. Amy Bazina bukan student saya. Tapi kami dalam supervisor dia dalam satu team. So saya sekits, I need somebody on the field background. So saya pakat dengan supervisor dia dan dia dah kerja untuk global. Okay, so saya apply grant dinamik berdasarkan grant SEF mostly yang saya ada. So bila saya dapat kerana ambil, it comes in. That is the process for me lah. Untuk give the supervisor.
Ya, silakan.
Saya untuk untuk postdoc ni sebenarnya kalau ikut pengalaman saya grad tahun 2018 kan. So untuk tahun tu sebenarnya saya dah minta. Tapi dia bergantung kepada bajet sebenarnya. So pada tahun tu kebetulan macam RMC dia tak ada bajet, so di hold dulu. Tapi bila di hold tu sebenarnya untuk tahun depan ni kita akan minta balik. So kalau saya pengalaman saya untuk postdoc ni sebenarnya ambil masa dalam 2 tahun juga lah. Sebab proses tu agak lama. Tapi biasanya postdoc ni memang kita memang akan buat proposal menggunakan yang samalah borang skim dynamic tu. So yang uruskan tu adalah supervisor kita. So kita hanya menunggu je lah. Kalau ada peluang insyaAllah ada lah.
Saya rasa akan ada banyak pengambilan postdoc sebab adanya postdoc memberikan markah merah. Dan markah merah kita dalam, sebab saya merah auditor, so saya kita tengok tu postdoc UiTM tu tak cukup markah kat situ. Memang less than half of the maximum mark of postdoc. So saya rasa mereka akan allocate lebih pengambilan postdoc lepas.
Boleh pula.
Just nak tambah satu point sebab ni more kepada student yang berminat untuk sambung postdoc. For the postdoc kita ada satu tempoh di mana bila kita grad kita ada 5 tahun je untuk apply. Means kalau kita dah lepas 5 tahun cannot be postdoc lah. So, maksudnya kalau betul-betul berminat pada postdoc ni terus apply lepas grad dan lepas senat semua tu dah boleh apply lah. Macam cik saya, SD saya lah work model lah. Itu je lah yang penting. Sebab kalau untuk continue pun syarat untuk dapat extend dia bagi 3. Salah satu KPI, nombor 2 kita masih dalam 5 tahun selepas grad. Yang nombor 3 memang bajet. Kalau tak ada bajet, kita pun di atas goal dulu lah. Itulah 3 syarat penting yang RMC letakkan nak continue lagi.
Good. Ada soalan tak? Saya nak tanya soalan tapi soalan itu terjawab dengan sendiri. Okey. Okey.
Soalan. So kita ada definisi kita dah masuk line akademik line akademik kan. So line akademik dan beberapa choice lah boleh pergi kan. Jadi lecturer ke kenapa kita go for postdoc? Kenapa pilih postdoc instead of ada apa kerja researcher ke ni kan?
Saya tak tanya. Why postdoc?
Ni opinion saya lah. Bila dah habis belajar, actually it's more on your research. So bila kita dah habis tu, kita boleh pergi sebagai lecturer and also research lah. Tapi even kita pergi kepada lecture sebenarnya, scope lecture adalah research juga. Lecture tu adalah sebahagian. Lagi-lagi universiti punya lecture lah. So going to postdoc actually macam untuk membantu kita lah untuk more kepada research juga. So tak adalah bila kita terus ke lecture kita macam tak familiar dengan research banyak. Sebab research on postdoc dengan PhD is quite different lah. Kalau PhD kita ada limitation yang just untuk follow apa yang requirement basis untuk lulus. Tapi kalau research ni kita kena fikir something yang new untuk secure grant. And so postdoc ni satu platform lah untuk kalau nak ke arah mengajar. And also kalau tak mengajar pun kita boleh stay pergi pada research sebab memang postdoc tu more pada research and also yang assist student semua tu sebenarnya package untuk menjadi lecturer. Itu kot jawapan saya.
more dalam bidang kita fokus di perkataan.
Not really, sebab bila jadi pengajar, sebab mengajar tu adalah kerja hakiki yang memang just ambil sebahagian, tapi untuk KPI awak sendiri, at least based on apa yang saya dapat masa saya jadi part-time full-time lecturer, so banyak more kepada as a student, buat research. So bila jadi lecturer tu, you need to fulfill the requirement, macam kena publish paper berapa, 3 tak silap saya setahun macam tu lah. So tak fokus kepada mengajar saja. Mengajar tu adalah hakiki yang sedikit je.
Pada research
Good morning. Okay, tambah another one. What? Ada nak tambah? Sana. Okay. So, kita jawab ya. Okay, good. Ada soalan lagi? Maybe penonton daripada online ada soalan ke? Ada soalan daripada online? Ada? Ada soalan? Kat online ada? Okay, kalau tak ada soalan dah. Thank you all the speakers and presenters. We have Dr. Amel Fukar. Thank you, Dr. Amel, for nice, very informative talks, sharing, okay, and maybe different view of the research that you've been doing in your institute, university. Okay, and thank you also to Dr. Nafisa Safiai for sharing with us your experience doing the research and collaborating with industries and doing the site works is really hard work, I guess. And then Dr. Aini Bazila for your sharing experience with full of, I think, commitment, full of KPI. Tahu berapa KPI? Maybe more than 7, I think. And then kalau Dr. Nafisa tadi dikejar dengan industri kan, government agency, maybe Dr. Nafisa tambahan lagi dikejar oleh supervisor. Yeah, saya biasa bekerja dengan ketua kan, masa itu ketua bos saya juga kan, jadi saya biasa dikejar juga. Okay, and then Dr. Anis, thank you for your sharing experience dealing with international collaborators. I know you are under the supervision of Professor Chia right now, my boss, my immediate boss, and I'm reporting to her. I know how feeling experience working with her, dan memang tidur pun tak berani kan, nak menyiapkan. So it's good to push us, yeah, with better research, yeah. Then it's really a good experience working with supervisors when the managers, which they can push us, guide us, and then shape us be a better person. Okay. With that, I'm on behalf of the College of Engineering. Thank you, everyone, all the participants for attending the session. Physical participant from the online. So I'm hoping that we will be having this kind of session, sharing session from the postdoc students. Then maybe we have few more postdoc students coming in for the next session. So in session 2 will be we will be having sharing experience as well. Maybe next session will be more on the forum style, so we can have more interactive and then more Q&A. Okay, with that, thank you. Hope to see you again in the future. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
Nanti saya
Dia nak off juga. Nak apa kau ni? Stop je. Makan dia.
Okey, terima kasih. Jawab tadi.
Wah, itu tak betul ni.
Dengan
Slip terus.
Ya, dulu
you.
Okay.
Very nice.
Good program.
Yeah.